What is up, everybody? Welcome out to our, we'll call it, I guess, our 8:30 live stream. We figured we'd want to hang out with you all, see what's going on, see how you're all doing in midweek. We're trying to test out a bunch of new things so this way we can get rolling with our live stream, possibly make it a little bit better. And we'll see how it goes, man. I'm excited to be here. I hope you're excited to be here. And let's just have fun, man. Let's hang out. Let's ask questions. Whatever you want to do, man, I'm in. It should be fun. Something new for us. We're just calling it Just Chatting. I figured this way, there's nothing special about it, man. We're just here hanging out. Bunch of friends in the community. I do have a couple things I want to bring up tonight, so we'll get into that here in a sec. Just give everybody a minute or two to get in here and hang out with us. We're going to try to do this, I think, every Wednesday. We'll see what happens. It doesn't necessarily need to run the whole show either. We figured, you know what? We'll give it a whirl, see what happens, and go from there. It looks like everything is working on our end, so thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you to Sarah for the $5 super chat already. Much appreciated. What's going on, Luz? Thank you. And Fat Cracker, what's going on, brother? We got our moderator, Nikki, hanging out with us, so let's get into it, man. This is the first time this has ever happened to me. Kind of floored, to be honest with you. There was a guy that he has his own YouTube channel, and he did a Stony St. Clair episode, and he tagged me in it. I was floored. I've never had that happen to me before. And then I said, hey, man, nice video, dude. And he said to me, hey, dude, you know what? I'm honored to have you comment on my stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, you got more subscribers than I do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm honored that you even tagged me on it. So that must be something new with YouTube. I didn't know you could do that. Cool with it, though. Totally cool with it. And I'm trying to find the guy's name. So the guy's name is Irish Gip 71. And I tell you what, why don't we show you his stuff, and we'll go from there. So give me 1 second. Let me get this all squared away. It was a really good video. It's a short, but it was done well. So check this out. The guy's name's Irish Gip.
Tony St. Clair. He's one of the true legends of American tattooing. He was born in 1912 in West Virginia, and he first made his living as a circus sword swallower before picking up a tattoo machine. And once he did, he never put it down. He learned the craft in the 1930s, working alongside...
So we're showing this to you guys to show this guy some love, man. So go check out his channel.
...a legend, Burt Grimm, and eventually opened up his own shop in Columbus, Ohio. Known for his steady hand and wild storytelling, Stoney tattooed until his health forced him to stop in the 1980s, leaving behind not just an art on skin, but a legacy that inspired generations. Stoney St. Clair, circus performer, tattoo pioneer, and a name etched forever in tattoo history.
So there you go, man. Irish Gip 71 is his channel. Go check him out, man. Give him some love. He is doing some, he's trying to get into doing some history stuff. He is a retired military veteran. What's up, Chris? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, dude. I didn't think you were going to make it. He's a middle-aged guy, and he said that, he's retired from the military, and he got into doing this late in life, and he's watching my channel to get history and all that stuff. So thank you, Chris, for the $4.99 super chat. Much appreciated, man. So Irish Gip 71, man, go check him out when you get a chance. Not now, because we're going to hang out tonight. But I thought it was really cool, man. And again, I didn't know I could tag somebody else in a YouTube video, so that's something completely new for me, man. Pretty cool, right? Anyway, we're going to hang out, shoot the shit. We could talk about music. We could talk about tattoos. We could talk about YouTube channels if anybody's got any interest in that. Oh, there you go, man. Irish Gip is in the house hanging out with us. So there you go. That's his screen name, and that is the name of his channel. So give him some love, man. Good dude, and he's trying his hardest to get some traction going on the history front. Another thing that's happened to me, which is totally blowing my mind. Do I sound okay, by the way? I just want to make sure before we get any further. I don't want to, sound like shit and do this whole thing and it sounds like crap. So let me know out there in YouTube land. Where was I? Oh, another thing that's happening to me is I have revived my TikTok channel. Now, I'm the first one to say I'm not like a huge TikTok person. That short attention span, just swiping through, that's really not for me, man. I'm more about like, all right, cool, sounds good. I'm more about like long form. I want to enjoy it, kind of settle in, grab a soda, check it out, get into it. But I've posted a couple shorts yesterday and today. And I tell you what, the shorts that I posted yesterday took off, man, like a banshee. The ones I posted today, not so much. A buddy of mine, he was actually in our live stream. He does the How to Heathen show. He's huge on TikTok. And he said sometimes it takes 24 hours on TikTok for whatever reason. So I'll give it another 24 hours and see how it goes. If not, I'll just delete it, move on. Not the channel, but the videos. I'll repost them later down the line. But one of the things that's kind of blowing my mind is I'm actually getting a lot of comments sent to me from younger tattoo artists that are like, man, I really enjoy your YouTube channel. I love the tattoo history that you're doing, all that stuff. And it's, dude, I don't know how else to put this, man, but like, I'm honored. Just when you think that nobody gives a shit about history, you have a bunch of people like that come in and they're like, dude, I love what you do, man. I love your channel. Thank you so much for doing it. I know all you guys appreciate it because you're my regulars, right? You guys hang with me all the time. But to have just random people come out and just show some love like that, it's pretty freaking awesome, dude. Humbled big time. So, it's cool to get a little bit of that love sometimes, right? Especially from somewhere other than YouTube, because I'm really trying to push my socials. I'm trying to push TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I know Justin is on a mission right now trying to push his stuff. Social media is tough, man. I mean, if you're not in the mix and you're not posting on a pretty regular basis, it's real easy to get lost in the mosh. For that, YouTube's just as hard, to be honest with you. I think that when I put this channel together, I focused strictly on YouTube and pushed all the social media stuff aside because at the time, it was too much. For some of you that don't know, I work a normal 9-to-5 job. This is, I literally get done work, grab some food, sit down, start to edit. Sometimes I edit till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Watch, rinse, and repeat. So I put a lot of love into this channel. And, that's why it's doing better than my social media. So I'm going to try to get into that. I also talked to a guy. It's a social media manager that's local to my house. Apparently he's worked with some big name movie people and record people. So you never know. Might take off, might not. I'm not signing any contracts for that's for damn sure. Because these guys, I'm not saying this guy in particular, but there are people out there that try to snake your channel from you, or they try to get you to sign some bullshit contract. And you don't want to do that, man. You don't want to give up money that, down the road you could be making because you signed some, asinine contract that somebody was just trying to get over on you. And again, I'm not saying this guy is trying to do that. I'm just saying I'm very leery of it. You know, if I have to, I'll get a lawyer. You know, better safe than sorry, right? Too many nightmare stories out there. I think I told you guys this before, but I have a degree in music business. When I was going through that, you had artist and representation classes and P&R classes, or PR classes. When you were going through those classes, they talked about record contracts. Now, it's very well known that the people in the 50s, Chubby Checker, Little Richard, most of the, black entertainers are the ones that got robbed. That doesn't mean to say that, others didn't. I'm just saying, they were taken advantage of big time. And I'd always heard those nightmare stories, but one of the ones that actually sticks in my head the most is Boys to Men. They, in the 90s, were all over MTV, man. Like, you couldn't swing a dead cat without seeing them. Everywhere. And at that time, when they were all over MTV, those guys were still living in their parents' basement because they weren't making any money. Michael Bivins from Belle Biv DeVoe, he's the one that actually signed them, and he put them into it's considered to be one of the worst contracts the record industry has ever seen. It's right up there with some of the ones that from the 50s that I was talking about. So you gotta be careful. And believe it or not, excuse me. So YouTube, creator space, whatever you want to call it, is starting to become big business. Now, it isn't for me, but it is. Okay. Mr. Beast recently just put out a list of people. So what he did was he actually went around to all the big name creators, and he said, "Hey man, I'm trying to put together this project where I'm trying to build wells in Africa. Will you donate money?" Well, that list got released, I think it was either last week or the week before, and it was the top 10 list of people that donated. Now, I think it was the fifth person is the first person that I actually recognized. Those top 3 people donated $400,000 because they're streamers on Twitch and Kick and all this other stuff. So, as much as I thought I knew a lot about the creator space and YouTube and all that stuff, I know like the tippity tip of the iceberg about this stuff. When I saw that and I was like, oh my, I don't even know who those 5 people are, and they just donated $400,000. Like, they got it like that. Well, it is. There is sick money out there for creators. So, I'm not saying that that's why I ramped up my wanting to live stream, but it might have something to do with it. In all honesty, I wanted to ramp up my live streaming before I saw that list because I just wanted to get better at it. I wanted to be able to give you guys on Sunday nights a better product. Whether it's making the stream look slicker, making the stream sound better, having better graphics, better communication between you guys as the listeners and me, whatever it is. Like, I felt like, just doing it once a week for an hour a week wasn't really cutting it, and I wanted to get better at it. And so hopefully this will help, man. I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing it, and it also has a little something to do with the fact that, some streamers are getting paid big bucks. I'm never going to be in that space because A, I'm not a gamer. B, I don't talk about politics. And C, I don't want to do anything that has anything to do with drama. Dude, I'm like Switzerland, man. Like, I want no parts of drama at all. Like, drama happens, I'm out. I don't want to deal with it, dude. I had to deal with enough drama at work and then being in the MC world. Well, now I'm not dealing with the MC world. Work, I pretty much got like the drama on point. It's under wraps for right now. I mean, that could always change, right? But I don't want no parts of it, man. I'm perfectly happy just being in my own little world and doing my thing here and learning about history and trying to learn as much history as I can possibly learn, because I'm still learning. I got a lot to learn, dude. I've only touched on the surface of history. You know, Irish just asked me in one of his comments the other day, like, who I felt as though this is actually a good question for you guys that are listening. In your mind, give me a tattoo artist that you think has made a huge change that still impacts tattooing today. Hopefully I said it right, but I think I did in my little scrolls or chugging away up here. Pretty sure that's what I did get it right. So I don't want to answer before you guys do, but I'll tell you what I answered to him. Just curious. Yeah, Sailor Jerry's a good, there you go. Sailor Jerry, first one. Okay. Definitely had a huge impact. I mean, I feel like he had a big impact on not only taking American traditional to the next level, but also incorporating the, Chinese, Japanese kind of vibes to his work. Ed Hardy. Okay, there you go. Chris said Ed Hardy. Now, Ed Hardy, in my mind, is huge for a couple different reasons, though. So Ed Hardy is going to go down as being one of the first tattoo artists to fully, take notes on his whole career. So, we all know he's sick. He's not doing well. But when he passes, his life is well documented from the point of being a little kid until, now. So, that's a game changer, because a lot of guys, girls, tattoo artists from the past, it was a lot of word of mouth, man, which is why I always have a hard time with some of the tattoo artists that are way back to get information on. Some of those guys, I have to do a lot of digging in order just to get any type of information. But another thing that Ed Hardy changed, was part of the change anyway, is the custom shop. So taking it from being a street shop into a custom shop. Now, you got to remember the time when Ed was coming up as a young guy. A lot of the old heads were still around, and they were like, hey man, we don't do that custom shit here. You're wasting time drawing that up. You could be tattooing right now, because you got to remember they were running these street shops where dudes were lining up at like 10 a.m. to get tattooed. They didn't want no parts of any extracurricular activities that was going to take away from, them tattooing. So drawing up custom shit was like a waste of time, like for Bob Shaw, Burt Grimm, those types of guys. So I think, Ed's probably, I would say like Ed, Cliff Raven, Nolan, instrumental in also bringing in the Asian flavor, but also into the custom stuff. All right, who else? Anybody else? Anybody else got any people they feel like that was pretty much like instrumental in Cap Coleman? Well, we all know where I stand with Cap Coleman. I did that whole episode on Coleman, and to me, he's the guy. Look, I know there was guys that came before him, Wagner, Millie Hull, the Moskowitz brothers. I mean, there's countless people. That was actually not Moskowitz brothers. It would be Willie, the father. Percy Waters. You know, I mean, there was tons of other people that were doing tattoos before Coleman, okay? But the thing is, I think that Coleman took American traditional to a whole new level. And I honestly think that he mastered the art of being a street shop. Because you got to remember, he was knocking out street shop work before Sailor Jerry. So, you know, he just happened to move at the right time. You know, with World War I, World War II, those types, that time frame. Who's that silent one we should look out for? So, I did an episode on Cliff Raven. Justin warned me flat out when I told him I was going to do that. He said, "Look," he goes, "Buck, you know, Cliff Raven is one of those guys who's a tattoo artist. So there's a lot of guys that, you know, a lot of people that like tattoos might not really know who Cliff Raven was, but Saturn, dude, tattoo culture is the NBA and NFL. I don't know about that, man. Birdman. Yeah, well, before Birdman, there was Dennis Rodman. So, I don't know, man. I know that the NBA and the NFL are, you know. See, the problem with that is those guys are also going the route that most tattoo people. No, I know who you're talking about. I know the white dude. He was probably one of the first heavily tattooed besides Rodman that I could think of. Problem is with these guys, these athletes now, man, they're spending $50,000 to get put to sleep to go get tattooed. I just saw it in the news recently, man. There was somebody from the NFL that just went and spent $50,000 to get put to sleep to get tattooed so he could get his back done. I'd have to look it up, but I don't know who it was. But yeah, no, I know who Birdman is. Oh, there you go. So, Nikki, our moderator Nikki, just said Esther, Sailor Eddie's wife. That's a sleeper right there. To be honest with you, Irish, I feel like Sailor Eddie and Esther are sleepers. I think that unless you're a hardcore tattoo person, you might not even know who those people are. And you know, man, they worked with a lot of big name people, man. They worked with Paul Rogers. Paul Rogers worked for them. Deefy Grossman and his wife Stella worked for Sailor Eddie and Esther. I don't know about that, dude. I think real tattoo culture is, you know, rock stars, bikers. You know, that's, to me, is real tattoo culture. That might be what you think represents tattoo culture now, but that's the furthest thing of how this started. You know, I wouldn't agree with that at all. So, Fat Cracker said, did you mean tattooing or cool guy ego tattooing legends that every hipster tattoo artist needs to say to seem cool? Yeah, I mean, look, I think most people when you say tattooing to the non-hardcore tattoo people, I think the first name that comes out of people's mouths is usually Sailor Jerry. Now, I don't know if that has a lot to do with the bastardization of his name with being on rum bottles and all kinds of other shit, but, I'm sure that has something to do with it. Which means he got 18 million and dude spent 5 million on tattoos. Yeah, man, I'm not saying that, first of all, dude, 5 million on tattoos is just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I don't need to say any more than that. I don't buy into the whole, these people, charging obnoxious amounts of money to get to do tattoos, dude. I think there's just as much equally, good tattoo artists out there that maybe don't have a bigger name that could do just the same exact work and charge nowhere near the amount of money that some of these people are getting. Now, I'm not going to put on a front, dude. If you can get that, by all means, get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, make that bag. Do what you got to do. But I'm not paying it. I don't have to. I mean, there's plenty of other good artists out there that don't charge anywhere near that amount of money. So Fat Cracker said, my cool guy is Hiroshi the Third. But that's just a micro of what other tattooers have done for tattooing on the macro. Yeah. If Nikki said, if I had $5 million, I would definitely have more tattoos. Dude, it don't even come down to money for me, to be honest with you. If I didn't have a 9-to-5 job where I could, like corporate America, where people didn't look down on me, if I had tattoos on my neck or on my hands, I'd have more tattoos. I mean, unfortunately, I don't work in that environment, which sucks. But, if I want to go back into the music business, I could be all tatted up. And I can't even believe I just said tatted up. That is a major, major faux pas in my book. I can't believe I just said that. But, yeah, man, if it doesn't even really have money to do with money. I like the hair industry for NBA players, hair industry. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but I don't know nothing about the hair industry, dude. Or chick, sorry. Person. For me, couldn't have ink while in military. When I got out, I couldn't have below sleeve. Never heard of any tattooers, but every place I went in had Jerry hanging. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, man. Like, Sailor Jerry, he's just one of those more known guys. Like, when I think of more known, Jerry, Burt Grimm, Charlie Wagner, those are like Crazy Eddie, Philadelphia Eddie, whatever name you want to call him, because, he had a career spanning in both names. But, like, those are the names that people know. There's tons and tons of great artists out there that hopefully I'll get to them eventually. Do some history episodes on. My problem is like I said, man, I don't always, sometimes it's really, I've had multiple requests to do history episodes like on Lou the Jew Alberts, right? And I want to do one. It's just a matter of, can I really get enough information to do a full episode? So now, just by happenstance, I learned that as long as you do 8 minutes, it's considered to be a full-length video on YouTube. So now that I know that, hey man, if I only make an 8-10 minute video, it's cool. At least I got to do it and I got to put it out there. If you're tattooing as, I'm sorry, if you love tattooing as a macro, none of the old school guys that we love on his channel are it. Not Ed Hardy or Sailor Jerry. Man, I I don't know if that's true. I appreciate that, Fat Cracker, but I'm gonna cover some of those, bigger name guys. You do know Jordan, Shaq, Barkley all got hairdressers. Even I'm sure they do, man. Because you know what? Yeah. So to line up your beard, dude, ain't cheap. And as far as like shaving your head, dude, I mean, I have the bulldog or whatever the hell it is that I can quick do my head. But when you're doing your head with a razor, man, it sucks. So to have somebody else do it, that's on point, man. That's where it's at. There you go. Sarah just said, I love Maud Wagner. Great, great. So I've been trying to get into thinking about doing a lot more female artists episodes. And I shared a reel the other night for Jessie Knight. That's another one that I'd love to do. UK legend, female tattoo artist. So I've got nothing against tattoo memorials. Sound awesome. Yeah, dude, I think that I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, Maud Wagner. So Maud Wagner and Gus Wagner, her husband, would be a really good episode because they started off in the circus. They tattooed almost their whole career doing hand poke tattoos. I think at the very end they did actually use machines. But they're kind of like the type of good story where you would have, like when I talked about Burt Grimm, like tattooing in the circus and stuff like that. Burt Grimm, tattooed with the Buffalo Bills circus. So Maud Wagner and Gus Wagner, they, toured all over the country tattooing at fairs and lived as tattooed people, meaning that they actually made money off of being tattooed people. So I think that would be a really good story to do. I'd really like to do a full story on Millie Hull, but the more and more that I dug into Millie, there really wasn't a lot of information about her. There's information out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if there's enough for me to do a full episode. So what I was actually thinking about doing was, if I couldn't get enough to do like a full Millie Hull or Kate Hildebrandt, which I should be able to for her, but there's other female tattoo artists that maybe what I could do is I could lump them together into one long form video. Spend like 10 minutes on each and call it like the ladies of tattooing or the ladies of early tattooing, something like that. I thought that would be pretty cool. It's just really, it comes down to being able to get enough information. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, before I forget, I wanted to, because it made me actually think ladies. So let's see here. Where is it? I wanted to put this up. Heritage Arts Tattoo Show in Roanoke, Virginia, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. Huge tattoo show. A lot of legendary people are going to be there. Gil the Drill Monty. Yeah. I just lost my train of thought on who others that are going to be there, but there's going to be a lot of really good people there. A lot of good artists. It's going to be a huge show. And yours truly might actually wind up going down there. I got offered to come down and do, record some interviews and, live stream from the event. So the guy that runs the Heritage Arts Tattoo Show offered me, and I might take him up on it. I'm trying to figure it out, but we'll see what happens. And what made me think of this is because we were talking about female tattoo artists. Frankie Scorpion is having her tattoo show, Social Light Festival again down in Florida. It's October 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's an all-female tattoo artist show. So it's a convention full of female tattoo artists. So if you're looking for, a really good, amazing female tattoo artist, they will be there. She has put together one hell of a show. I saw the list, and if you want to check it out, the web address is on there. If you want, I can actually blow it up and make it a little bit bigger for y'all. But the web address is down there, tattooSocialiteArtsFestival.com. And the lady that runs it is Frankie Scorpion, who I'm friends with on Instagram. I've met her. She's an awesome lady. She has been tattooing for a very long time. And she is also part of the Inkvasion magazine team. So that's how her and I wound up being, close and talking. I am still featured on Inkvasion magazine's splash page for their website. Thank you to Chris and the team from Inkvasion magazine, because they also like what I'm doing as far as promoting tattoo history. Side note to that, Tattoo Tony has me now on the splash page of the Central Jersey Tattoo Museum page. So props to Tattoo Tony for doing that for me. And I do have a surprise for you guys. And I'll let you guys in on it because you're here hanging out with me tonight. So Sailor Eddie is going to do his grandfather's Sailor Eddie, the original Sailor Eddie, his favorite tattoo on me. He said it was his, hands down, his grandfather's most favorite tattoo to do. He's using the original stencil, the original acetate. I'm going to film the process from soup to nuts. So we're going to be filming the whole acetate process, him cutting the acetate, him then applying the acetate to my leg, doing the tattoo, and then he said at the end he was going to go ahead and give me the acetate, which is freaking amazing. So that'll be coming soon. I'm really looking forward to doing that because that is going to be part of my right leg collection of the old school tattooers that I'm trying to get done on my right leg to sleeve my right leg out. So honored to have that piece on me, man. I can't wait to get that done. And then, believe it or not, this is going to be a trip. I'm probably going to film some of it just because I know it's going to be a fucking trip. Me and Sailor Eddie are actually doing a road trip together. I can't even believe I'm going to do this, man. So me and Sailor Eddie are making a pilgrimage out to Ohio to meet up with a very famous female tattoo artist. So that's also in the works. That'll be coming up soon. But yeah. So let me get back to Fat Crackers here. Like it or not, the tattooers on Miami Ink changed the tattooing landscape for better. Macro, or worse, micro. It's not a cool guy thing to say, but it's the fucking truth. In the public eye, macro, and not the micro of tattooers that we all love that you show on your channel. I agree with you though, dude. I like Ami James. I like Chris Garver. So I don't have a problem with either one of those guys. And I definitely think that they changed the game by bringing tattooing more mainstream for people. But I think there's been shows after that have kind of put a stain on it. Let's put it that way. I don't think it, killed the business at all, the craft at all. But I think it definitely the later shows put a stain on it. Sarah said, Buck, that sounds cool. It is going to be cool. I'm so amped to do that. I think I searched it one time, and there's really not a lot of YouTube channels that actually show the acetate process. And there's definitely not a lot of, I don't think I've ever seen any where they showed them actually cutting the acetate. So that should be a first, man. That could be really, really interesting. I'm just more amped to have the tattoo, man, and to have the honor of getting a Sailor Eddie tattoo that I know was one of his favorites. I can't wait. Can't wait to get it done. Yeah, so Irish just said he's really getting into the Ronnie Del Aqua vlog. Dude, I know I went off the handle the other night, and I want to apologize for that. I actually said to Justin when we got done, I was like, dude, I didn't mean to just cut and run like that. But I was really starting to get pissed off. And here's why. I got to do this without getting pissed. Before I get into that, I don't know what's going on, man. Like, I have an autofocus box that lights up, and it keeps lighting up behind me, like above my head. So I don't know if I have like a ghost in my house or what. But I'm like, whoa, what the hell, dude? Anyway, Ronnie. Ronnie is, I love that old man to death, man. He is such a really, really good guy. I know he's a little harsh sometimes. He's a little abrasive. He's got a little New York in him. But you got to remember, man, I'm an East Coast guy. I lived my last, 11 years with a bunch of bikers. So that doesn't bother me at all. That abrasiveness just doesn't even faze me. But the dude is genuine and true. And he stayed genuine and true to this craft till this day, from the beginning to the end. And when I hear him talk about how rough he's having it right now, just getting business, it breaks my heart for the dude. Because he gave blood, sweat, and tears to this craft. And when I hear him talk about, like, hey, Buck, there's weeks where, like, I don't even have anybody walk in the door. Dude, if you're anywhere local, and I don't have a lot of local people that listen to this, so I'm probably falling on deaf ears, but if there is any local people out there, stop in and see Ronnie, man. Get something from him, man. Get a little piece of history tattooed on you. Because the guy's been there. I mean, the dude tattooed when tattooing wasn't cool. He tattooed when tattooing wasn't even legal in New York City. The dude earned it, man. He earned his stripes. So much so that he was actually welcomed with open arms to come to that symposium of the Mike McCabe book, because Ronnie provided almost all the pictures in that book. So the dude's been collecting and a part of this since the early 70s, man. He's earned it. And I'll leave it at that. So I thank you for saying that, Irish. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the Ronnie episodes. I saw Chris and Sarah say, I'm sorry for voting to break it up. It's cool, man. I thank you both for taking part and voting. That's why I asked. I want your opinion. You guys are here every week. You guys watch all my stuff. Your opinion matters to me. So that's why I asked. It didn't work. Okay, we move on. We go to the next episode. To be honest with you, it was something that I've been kicking around for a while, because just people's attention spans just aren't there, man. Like, anything over like 2 minutes these days, and people are like, next. Unless like you're building in curiosity loops out the ass and doing all kinds of, addictive cuts and scenes. It's Pepsi, by the way. Diet Pepsi, not beer. Fat Cracker said, love the acetate tattoo. I like them both. Mainstream is the macro, just a fact. Yeah, that's cool, man. And I don't ever down anybody for like in the Ink Master stuff. I mean, I think there's been some phenomenal tattoo artists on there. To me, it's like, if the work of the tattoo artist should stand on its own merit. And you shouldn't have to build in drama. You know what I mean? I get why they did it. Because not everybody's like a purist or, loves tattoos as much as all you all right now. Because obviously you all love it. You're here listening to me ramble on about nothing. So I get it. So I get why they would have to build in the drama in order to keep people like, into it. Just like cooking shows, man. Like, what the hell's the one show? Chopped, right? Those guys, girls, phenomenal chefs. They freaking cook up dishes and stuff that I would never even be able to even think about doing. But you know what? They got to build a little drama in there to keep people hooked to watching it and coming back for more. I get it. Hey, Buck, get the tattoo of the chubby pinup girl on your leg. In fact, it would be cool for all your listeners to get the same tattoo. Each one should record the process. Dude, right? So it would be like the Bristol Tattoo Club where they got the bat, man. Like you have to have the bat in order to be a part of the club. So it'd be like the tattoos in review chubby pinup girl. I like it, dude. Dude, you come up with some goddamn great ideas, dude. Sarah said, speaking of tattoo shows and drama, Buck, have you ever watched How Far Is Tattoo Far? Dude, is that the one where, like, their friends pay for them to get a tattoo and then, like, they get, like, crazy shit on the, I think I saw one, like, one time where it was, like, these two chicks, they were supposed to be friends, and I'm saying that because I don't think they really were, because the one girl got a trash can tattooed on her friend. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a friend. Hello to all. Digging the live chat. Thanks as always, Buck. Right on, brother. Thank you for hanging out with us, Medusa. It's good to see you, bro. I know you're busy as hell. I know you're getting ready to do a road trip. But thanks for stopping in, man. Much appreciated, dude. We're just hanging out, shooting the shit about whatever, man. No rhyme or reason or agenda tonight. We were just shooting the shit about whatever tattoos, man. So, moderator Nikki said, I'm in. Spotlight has it. Spotlight has the their own little click tattoo. So, yeah, I think I knew about Philip Liu's family having it. Yo, RC hanging out with us. What's going on, brother? What's up, Buck? Looking good, sounding good. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. RC, legendary Philly tattoo artist, hanging out with us tonight in chat. Everybody say what's up to RC. RC, there you go. That's a good question for RC. Who do you feel like is a tattoo artist that has contributed to the craft of tattooing and what they did in the past is still holding true till today? I think I said that right. But yeah, we had that question. That actually was posed to me by Irish in a comment on one of his videos that I replied to. You got it, Buck. Friends that design tattoos for each other, and they are almost always horrible. I don't know how anyone could do that to another person, let alone friend. Yeah, I the one I saw was like the girl wanted to get the tattoo on her back, and then her friend decided to put like a trash can on her or something, and she was like, what the hell does that mean? And the girl was like, because you're trash. And I'm like, oh, I think they even got in a little punching. So yeah, I wouldn't say that I watched it. It was like, I think I seen maybe 1-2 episodes. There you go. RC just said Sailor Eddie. Cool. So I said Sailor Eddie and Esther for sure, man. I think it's unique that Sailor Eddie and Esther, had that, what do you want to call it, assembly line process, man. The fact that they had, what's up, Rooster Man? They had Sailor Eddie and, could have been Paul working there at the time doing the outline and the shading, and then they would send him send the person down the line right over to Esther, and Esther would pop the color in the tattoo. To me, that's pretty amazing. They also, I know that they went out of their way to, create new colors, new product, their own blends of colors and stuff like that. So stuff that they did was definitely, attributed to what we're doing today. Paul Rogers, another good one. Yeah, I mean, Paul Rogers is like the king of tattoo machines. Like, a lot of people, talk about the Davy Jones and, Ernie Sutton and stuff like that, and Bob Shaw with their machines. But Paul Rogers is, I would say, probably more influential in that. That's my own opinion, though. And that's only from stuff that I've heard, read, whatever. But, Paul Rogers, excuse me. I don't mean to keep coughing. Yeah, we already said Coleman. Coleman, definitely. I didn't get to actually meet Paul Rogers' granddaughter, but I did see her down at Norfolk. She was talking to like Dana Brunson and some other people. I'm a nobody, so like for me to walk up to her and be like, hey, how, I mean, I guess I could have. It's not like she was standoffish by any means, but I think her name's Amy. But I think she runs like a Paul Rogers Instagram account. I could be wrong about that. I know Leo Zaletta, right? I mean, the story sticks in my mind with Lyle Hardy. He was like, when he saw Leo and those guys doing the tribal stuff, he actually got on a plane from London and flew to California just to, get in on that and learn how to do it and wanting to be a part of that. And in all due fairness, I mean, that turned into the punk scene in London. I mean, Lyle Hardy, he had done one of those tribal pieces on this girl's head. I don't remember her name. And then she wound up getting photographed, and it was like the punk scene kind of blew up in London. I guess that would, be, one of those things that has influenced us today. I'm late to the game tonight. As you should know, I spent a week with Paul Rogers, and he made 2 machines from scratch. Yeah, so RC actually got to go down and work in the shed with Paul Rogers back in the day. And I loved that story when he actually sat down and talked to me about it. So I got a lot of respect for RC, man. He definitely helped me move along nicely in this whole YouTube process, dude, and offered me lots of insider information and was more than welcoming me into his shop to get me rolling with this stuff. He's one of the first interviews that I did. One of these days we'll have to redo it, dude, now that I do stuff better. Let's see here. Chris Hawkins likes the idea of the chubby pinup cracker. There you go. I call it loyal to the goil. Yeah. So, I have tons and tons and tons of different artists that I want to do episodes, and I'll get to them. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we're coming out of this slump all of a sudden. So I don't know if you know this or not, but, and I only know this because I look at stats all the time, but YouTube actually has a seasonality to it. There's YouTubers that actually take like time off during the summer because the slump happens. Views and stuff go down. And I don't know if we're coming out of the slump or what, man, but all of a sudden I'm getting a ton of views out of nowhere, which is really cool, man. I love it. I love seeing it because I've gotten so much better from when I started this channel with editing, writing, not scripts, but like bullet points, like lining them up better and just being more like, accurate with my deliveries and stuff like that. Other than the Polynesian video, which I'm still getting flack for. What do you expect from me, folks? I mean, some of those names, dude, are just not real easy to pronounce. Let me just, So I'd love to do one on Huck Spalding, and it's definitely on my list. Huck Spalding is on the list for not only, the tattoo artist aspect of it, because he traveled from the West Coast to the East Coast, working with Burt Grimm and, then having Spalding and Rogers. He had a lot of interactions with a lot of famous East Coast tattoo artists. So Huck Spalding is definitely one that I'm going to get to. There's, yeah, dude, like I have, a good amount of different artists that I'm going to cover. I mean, it's like, I don't know if I necessarily understood or the amount or knew the amount of well-known, not necessarily famous, but well-known tattoo artists when I really started getting into this. And, I guess I was just naive to the fact that there was just so many all over the world. I find stuff all the time, man. Like I was just recently digging into famous Australian guys. So, I don't want to just stick to United States as much as, my heart's in American traditional. There's plenty of other genres of tattooing that I want to get into. Like, I'd really like to get into the Chinese, Japanese, but that's going to take a lot of research, man, because I've already seen how the purists of that craft from that side are like, you screw up a name or get the information wrong, they're going to be all over you, man. They're going to pounce. So I just got to make sure I'm on point. Yeah, Dana has also told me that he would help me any way he could. Believe it or not, man, Chuck Eldridge too. Chuck Eldridge, when I talked to him down in Norfolk, was like, dude, I'll help you any way I can, man. I mean, he gave me some really good tips on how to do research. So it's been interesting. Huck Spalding was considered a sellout because he took full page ads in biker magazines and sold equipment to anyone with money, myself included. Yeah, so at least you admit it, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think that I think when I did the episode on Roy Boy, I think that's what he was saying, that that's where he saw the ads in one of the biker magazines. And then he went around telling people that he actually apprenticed under Cliff Raven, which I don't think anybody ever was able to prove or not. It's one of those, stories that he liked to tell. But, a lot of these guys, man, they have these grandiose stories that they used to just, Burt Grimm was probably the most known for that. But, I'm working with Baba right now on a Tennessee Dave episode. I'd like to get one done on Rick Walters. I have some really good interviews lined up. So it's going to be a good year, man. It's going to be a real good year for this. So, I've been around since 74. If I can help, let me know. However, it looks like I'm headed for more chemo. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I know you've been going through it, Rooster, but hang in there, brother. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight, man. I didn't know if I was going to get anybody to even show up for this, so I'm really stoked that we had some people in here tonight. I just realized that the Sutarn was from Kick. Right on. I didn't even know that. I don't know why it didn't show up. You definitely jumped on board at the right time, Irish, because this channel is about to go in a whole new like level. Um, I am gonna bust my ass to take this on, kick it up a notch, man. Because I really love this and I want to see it get bigger and better. And I try to do each episode a little better than the one before. It's still tough for me with interviews because when I'm interviewing somebody, I don't walk into an interview with notes. RC can attest to this. I do my homework. I know what I want to talk about, and I will try to steer the conversation sometimes, like especially if somebody starts to kind of drift off. I'll try to bring them back in. But when you're interviewing somebody, man, and you're doing an interview, there's really no way to control the narrative to make it like when you do an episode, you could write like curiosity loops and kind of keep people intrigued and keep wanting to listen and be like, ooh, I got to keep listening because I need to know the answer to that. You can't do that with an interview. So I'm just going to keep trying to get better and better at doing interviews, man. And I'd love to be able to get to a point where it's like a Joe Rogan type of podcast with interviews, not for the history episodes, but for the interview part. So we'll see what happens, man. I appreciate that, Rooster. Thank you so much, man. RC said, looking back, Spalding and Rogers were incredibly professional in their quality and service after the sale. Business jealousy and rivalry was big then. Stanley and Walter were also suppliers. Yeah, so, and I know that they were in direct competition with Huck, with the Spalding and Rogers thing. Ernie Carafa had his own thing too, so there was a multitude of different suppliers at the time that were direct competition with each other. I love it too. I love what tattoos used to represent and seeing the legends who really pushed the artwork, real tattooers. Right on, Mike. And that's what we'd like to focus on here, man. I don't want to get into the ego-driven superstar, rock star type of tattoo artists. We don't do that here, man. We stick to the legendary people, or, look, you could look in my channel, man. I've got interviews that are not legendary people because for whatever reason, I felt like they were a good fit. Like they were either brought up and apprenticed the right way and they were taught the traditions and what it really means to be a tattooer. That's why I did interviews with them. I originally thought, I don't know, man, I guess I was, had the illusions of grandeur. But I originally thought that if I could do interviews and shine some light on some of these lesser known, newer tattoo artists, I could give them exposure. When in reality, I was fucking kidding myself because I was a new channel that I wasn't getting a lot of views. And I kind of quit doing those interviews because I felt like I was wasting people's time. I thought that maybe we could go back to doing some of that stuff later down the road when the channel gets bigger and I have a bigger following, and we could give those people the publicity and shine the light on them like they deserve. So that's the only reason I stopped doing that. And it sucks because I still have people till this day that are like, hey man, I know a great artist, you should do an interview with them. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. And it's like, I don't want to say no, because that doesn't mean I won't ever do it. It's just, unfortunately, if it's not a bigger name person, dude, it doesn't get a lot of traction. And I don't want to waste somebody's time that was willing to take an hour and a half or 2 hours out of their day to sit down with me to do an interview, and it really does nothing for them. So it's just the way I see it right now, man. And hopefully at one point we get back into doing that again. But for now, we're going to just try to stick to some more legendary characters. I'll keep sticking to the history episodes because I love doing them. I love finding the pictures, the articles, the information on them, and we'll go from there, man. Yeah, so you're right, Irish. Every other tattooing channel has Nikos of the world, but no one else has the real OGs. Yeah, I mean, like Joe Capabianca, he's got a lot of well-known, you know, OG people on his show that he does interviews with. I respect that. I mean, I respect what Joe Capabianca's doing. I think sometimes he gets a little caught up on the whole us against them thing, but for the most part, dude, like he's got a lot of really, another one too, dude, that you should look into is Perfect History with Eric Perfect. He's got nothing but OG legendary people on his channel. So local Philly guy that's a very well known tattoo artist, but he's got Perfect History. RC said, yes, more interviews. People will watch them even if they are 1 or 2 years old since once they discover the channel. Yeah. And that's kind of the way I looked at it, RC. I figured that, it's like building a catalog that people will go back and start to watch past episodes from years ago or whatever. I mean, like there's channels I watch now, dude, that I might have just like Simon J. Wilson is a perfect example. I just found his channel probably about like 6 months ago. The guy's been doing YouTube since like 2018 or something like that. And, I started going back to his old episodes just to see what he was about at the beginning. And it's really cool to see sometimes. I didn't know you were in Northeast PA, dude. Where you at, Irish? Rooster said, I have some ideas. Stay the path. History is very important and you're doing it right. I appreciate that, Rooster. Much appreciated. Yeah. I think that I get more enjoyment. I think I would get more. I know I'll get more enjoyment. How do I want to word this? I don't think I would get as much enjoyment as if I was doing the hot new rock star tattoo artists. I'm not saying I don't like their work, because I do. There's tons of new artists out there that I think are doing amazing work, and I love it. But I don't think it would feed my soul as much as doing the history stuff does, because I think I've said this before multiple times on here, man. Like if I wouldn't have fucked off as much in school, I probably would have been a history teacher or a history professor, because that's how much I love history. I'm a huge World War II history buff. Grew up in Glen Oaks, Whitehaven. Army brought me west though. Okay. Right on. But yeah, definitely check out Perfect History, it's called. It's Eric Perfect, legendary owner of Cadillac. Rooster said, I grew up on the Pike. I don't know much about the East Coast. East Coast has a ton of tattoo history, man. And, fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know how you want to put it. I know more about the East Coast than I do West Coast, which is why I really wanted to do the Reno convention, to meet up with some more of the, West Coast people. Mike LaBelle, my homie, who did most of my work, was apprenticed in Pittsburgh. Definitely got the old school education. Do you know who he apprenticed with, Mike? That's my hometown, dude. Pittsburgh's my hometown. Dude, do you have a ghost in your house? Why do you say that? Because it keeps autofocusing up here somewhere, right? Back here. I think it might be just the way the light's like coming off the... I don't know, dude. We don't have a ghost in our house, though, as far as I know. But yeah, man, I have talked to Tim from Pinnacle, who has the Hank Savini exhibit in Pittsburgh. Hank Savini, famous tattoo artist, and his brother is the, what do you call it? He does movie special effects, Tom Savini. He was in the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. He was like the one biker dude that had the gun in his belt or whatever, belt buckle. Danny Dwyer, yeah, he just passed away, man. Sucks to hear. That's what I'm saying, dude. Between like Jack Rudy, Wes, now Danny. That's why I'm on this mission, dude. And you know, sadly, it's a lot for me to travel, man. Unfortunately, you know, as much as I want to get out and interview a bunch of these older guys, girls before it's too late, I don't know if it's going to happen, man. It's one of the things that, you know, I wish that, you know, I was rich and didn't have to work, because I would be traveling all over to do interviews with a lot of these older guys. So, yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that, Rooster. I did see it, though, on Instagram, but, all right, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight, man. I don't want to go too long and wear out my welcome. I loved hanging out with y'all. We'll have to do it again sometime. Maybe this is something that, you know, maybe we could start doing this on every Wednesday or something, right? I don't know. You guys let me know. If you're into it, we'll do it. But thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great night. Have a safe week. And I'll see you on Sunday. Peace.